John here with Real Hardware Reviews again. We're still at the Asus booth. Now we're going to jump into their new cases and all of their new NVIDIA accessories, as well as a bunch of other awesome components and accessories. So take it away.
Yeah, so we've got some cool stuff. We're going to start off, I think, on the kind of more entry side. For some of you enthusiasts out there that know ROG Strix really well, you might not be familiar kind of so much with Tough Gaming. It really kind of just occurred last year, but it's a kind of our new series of products to really define an entry-level starting point for maybe PCDI web builders that it's a first time for them kind of getting into it. They want to get into an Asus product in terms of our quality, our features, our designs, right? But without necessarily having to jump into the price band that we have for ROG Strix or definitely ROG Forma, which people know those are the best, but they definitely carry a much more premium price.
What's the warranty like with Tough? Because I know Tough, that name used to always mean 5-year warranty with you guys.
Correct, yeah, and that was with the previous generation. That Tough series no longer exists. We only have Tough Gaming. Right now, with traditional Tough Gaming, it qualifies for the same warranty period as any of our other products. So,
perfect.
If you take, for instance, motherboards, it would be a 3-year period.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of the things you're going to see right here, this is the GT501. So this is our new chassis, which will be coming out here. It's going to be a more aggressively priced chassis, definitely under about $150. But you've got some really nice touch points. You can see conscious airflow design. You've got integrated RGB lighting, which of course is Asus Aura Sync compatible, so it can fully synchronize with Tough boards or any other boards. You can also see some examples internally of the Tough Gaming Alliance. We've worked consciously with tons of different partners, everybody from Team Group to EK to have actually branded products that feel harmonious with Tough Gaming. Because especially as a first-time builder, you know, maybe you want to find a cooler, a power supply, a chassis, whatever it might be, and it kind of all kind of fits together, not only from a mechanical level, but also from an aesthetic level.
We've been seeing your Tough logos and everything showing up on brands like Crucial. We review very often, so make sure to check out the Crucial review from Tough, because we did do that one recently as well.
Yeah, and kind of expanding that now is also going to be getting to peripherals where we haven't had that. So we've had some of those other products, and so this is going to be a breakaway. Traditionally, we've been an exclusive Cherry House with our ROG products, but with the new Tough Gaming keyboard, the K7, this is going to be an optomechanical based design. So it's cheaper, of course, than going with genuine mechanical, but you still get that kind of mechanical feel. You still get nice RGB lighting, stainless steel frame in terms of the internals. It's still water resistant, so you can spill water and you're okay. Magnetic wrist rest, so that you can go ahead and pull that away very comfortable. Has onboard memory profiling, which is kind of rare at the lower price bands, 3 profiles. We also still have hardware level control for lighting customization. Again, not always really seen in a lot of keyboards, so you don't have to even use the software. And we go through extensive reliability testing, so again, you're going to have very good reliability in the long term. And you can see that rounded out by some of our other products in terms of peripheral groups. We won't go too much in those, but some pretty cool stuff. We've got the P3 gaming Surface, we've got the M5 gaming mouse, we've got a new headset, so you can definitely expect a lot more in 2019 from the Tough Gaming family.
Awesome.
So before we jump into the gaming room, I think we want to kind of set the benchmark on the high-end side for the display. So for many, this is going to be the quote-unquote dream monitor. So my friend Darren here, he's rocking some, of course, Battlefield 5. Many users already knew that we had the PG3-4. It was the kind of the benchmark display, but they wanted even brighter. They wanted higher refresh rate. They wanted, you know, HDR. They wanted G-Sync. This is going to be 3440 by 1440, 512 zones, 1000 nits in terms of the brightness, 200 hertz in terms of the actual refresh rate, G-Sync, wide color gamut, and then we just
features are scaring me on the price, man.
And then we decided to drop in an ESS Saber DAC built into the monitor to even be able to elevate your audio experience. So when you connect your headphones, you're not only getting that great visual experience, but you're getting an amazing audio experience.
Wow.
Definitely, this is going to be an expensive panel. It's not going to be for everybody, but again, for those users that want the absolute best gaming experience in that ultra wide scenario, I think this is going to be the benchmark monitor for 2019.
What's the release date on that?
Our goal right now, we're just in the last stage of validation, hopefully around the end of Q1, maybe early Q2.
So there's no price kind of set up yet?
Yeah, it's not finalized, but definitely you can expect this to be, if you saw the PG27UQ, which was our HDR 1000 G-Sync display, that was already at $2,000. This is going to definitely be a bit over that price.
Well, at least you're saving a couple $100 on a decent DAC as well.
Yep.
So that's nice. Cuts one thing down, makes it hurt a little less, but it does look stunning.
We can go ahead and take a look inside. So next up right here, we've got another new peripheral. We just talked about the, of course, gaming side on Tough Gaming keyboard, and so that sits actually directly underneath this. So we previously had our Claymore, which was the highest end, then the Strix Flare, and this will help to kind of make up now the new entry into our gaming lineup. So still very premium. Of course, cherry keys here, so you've got reds or browns. We got the more kind of traditional frameless design, which a lot of people like right now, but you still have your 10 key. We have an enlarged control button, which really helps to eliminate the pain point that you have with the Windows key, which you have to end up having a lock or kind of other variables, things along those lines. You've got a function key to be able to matrix back and forth between function or media keys, so you don't lose that ability to have both.
Very cool.
On adapt to that, you also have integrated profiles, which are hardware built into the keyboard. Again, it's not necessarily always seen. You don't have to have software dependency. You have also full hardware controls for all the lighting built again into the keyboard. And then of course you got that aluminum frame all the way around. So this is going to be the control keyboard again, positioned underneath our flare. We think it's going to be very popular with a lot of builders.
Definitely looks amazing. Now, what is this button for?
Yeah, so this is actually what we call kind of like our stealth or hide button. So, you know, in some situations, maybe you're, you know, looking at different things online, you're playing different games, and you kind of want to immediately toggle back to your desktop. You got your quick hide button, so you can hit that.
That's really cool.
And everything will just go to the desktop, but it will still be hidden back there in memory.
That's different.
Yeah.
It's cool though.
So if we head on over here, we're definitely going to be stepping into some real hardcore components. This is really purpose-built for those enthusiasts that demand the best from GPU performance, and this is going to be with our Matrix. So our Matrix, we haven't had one for a little while. The last was in the GTX 980 Ti.
Yep.
So it was definitely some time ago, but this card, in terms of its overall design, has been in design and development over 2 years. So the concept here was to literally take a full AIO water cooling solution like you would see maybe like on an MSI Seahawk or an NZXT type solution. EVGA has had them in the past, things like that, but put it all self-contained in one card. Look clean, but still offer that level of performance. And that's what we've done. So in traditional AIOs, this is the base plate that you would have, which is designed for a CPU. The challenge though is that this is not designed for a GPU or the memory or the surface area that you need. So we designed our own. There's no rebranding here. This is a custom solution that we developed. So this entirely covers the GPU and also covers the memory. We then go to the next level and we have a full aluminum cast plate that goes over the VRM solution, and then we of course have all the full airflow to cool that. You then have the cold plate which connects to the tubing and the radiator, and then you've got some amazing performance. To take things even further, we've got pretty much almost all about the highest overclock card you can get out there. GPU boost clock is programmed at over 1800 megahertz. Real world GPU boosting gaming will be consistently over 1900 megahertz.
Wow.
We have an 800 megahertz overclock on the actual memory, which is super rare for graphics cards, and especially RTX cards. And then you of course have your 3 zones of lighting. One zone here, one zone here, and then one zone on the back. And to never forget, another cool part on all of Asus series cards is that there's 2 4-pin headers for fans, so that if you want your fans to respond directly to the GPU temperature, they can do that. And then also an RGB header, so if you want to connect things like an LED strip, chassis with lighting, fans, whatever it might be, you're good to go. So
awesome.
Thermal performance is going to be outstanding. Our target is to consistently be under 70 degrees, and keep in mind that's with those overclock frequencies. If you were going to bring things down, it's just going to get cooler. And acoustic performance is also designed to pretty much be comparable with our current triple slot Strix, which already kind of leads the market in terms of being super quiet, but also super cool.
When did Asus release these new fans?
These actually are new for the 2000 series generation,
Okay.
so we redesigned these, and it's actually good eyes.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people realize.
I've dealt with many a broken fan on every single brand there is.
Yeah, so we went to a new type of design that's specifically even further optimized for static pressure. So we get even better downward force to be able to go into those large mass heatsink assemblies that we have. And that was critical because we'll actually show you a brand new card for this generation with this is of course the RTX 2080, but the RTX 2060 is now launching. And this card featured something that we just recently did, and we're the only vendor on the market to have them, which is called Max Contact. You guys won't be able to see it, but this massive full heatsink assembly, we actually machine lap the actual contact plate between the base plate and then the actual GPU die.
So there's no warping or
exactly,
anything like that.
and it allows for the absolute best conduction in terms of thermal performance. That same Max Contact design is even present in our RTX 2060, which you guys will be able to see right here inside of our new Helios chassis. So very impressive in terms of giving you probably more thermal cooling than you need for the card, but it's going to allow the card to have great clock speeds, be super quiet, and of course fits along with the beautiful aesthetic that we have with the RG cards, again having those multi-points of RGB lighting that's featured there. So in terms of the Helios, this in itself is also pretty much brand new. This is about almost final design, and you can see it's got quite a number of upgrades compared to the Tough Gaming chassis.
Yep.
And one of the really big things you're going to see right here is this node header. This is integrated, and it's a low-level interface with our motherboards. You can get temperatures, voltages, fan speeds, all directly fed from the motherboard on a
That's
low level.
impressive.
So this this is something that's actually an industry partnership. We're working with other partners like InWin, but we're seeing it realized on our chassis right here. But it's not going to be exclusive to just Asus products. You also have our RGB based implementation right here in terms of the front panel. This can be fully illuminated, or you can go kind of stealthed out and not see anything. You got USB Type-C, 4 ports, fan controller header here. We have diffused paneling in the back to kind of cover all your cables. You can see that we've got the cutout here for the Thor-based PSU. Nice venting on top of the PSU, so depending on its position, you're good to go. The front bay will be removable, so that if you want to be able to easily mount your fans and your radiators, you can take that out and do it externally. You'll also see this is kind of different. We have a mounting point for an SSD, so you've got a traditional SSD, RGB SSD, or a terminal. This is actually pretty awesome because you can run multiple LED strips from the terminal, bounce it in there. But below this is very different. It's a bracketing system for GPU sag. So our cards pretty much almost don't sag because they have really good torsion resistance. But you can position it based on the length of the card, and then there's a small attachment that you can slide anywhere on, screw it in place, slips right underneath the card, and will hold the card in place.
Well, that's absolutely awesome.
Pretty cool, pretty different. And then kind of one of the last things here on the Helios you see is it's got straps and handles, and that's probably because a lot of you are seeing that on newer chassis, usually what happens is you pull the chassis, the front, by putting your hand underneath here. So a lot of times if you're going to pick this up and you put your hand here and you pull out,
there goes the front.
You may actually pull things out, and sometimes you drop or something like that. So actually having the handles on here, you can just lift it up easily like this. And of course, really cool. If you don't like the aesthetic, you can take straps off. You know?
Oh, so you have a separate vertical mounting point?
Yes.
As well as it looks like some nice posts to stop it from actually sagging down.
Exactly. And so right now the plan is most likely to include these, but of course that's still tentative, but definitely we want your guys' feedback on that. But yes, you can go ahead and go with the vertical based design or your traditional horizontal. So either which way. So that is the new Helios.
Why buy a beautiful GPU if you can't see it?
Yeah.
The back plates are nice, but you got to see those fans.
Yeah, I mean, I go either which way. I sometimes still like my traditional side profile look, but I think the choice of being able to show it off either which way, that's the really cool part about the Helios. So moving a little bit more on this side, we've got the new Batless. So this is our new gaming surface right here. You kind of seen some other surfaces around. We've had the really big large seats. We've had the Whetstone. We've got the ROG Edge, which is underneath there under the Dominus. But this is cool because, of course, now we have full adjustable RGB lighting. You have actually touch control that's built onto this unit, so if you want to just change the lighting on there, you can go ahead and put in different cycles. It's very easy. You have Qi wireless charging, so you can go ahead and just pop your phone on there and charge it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And on top of this, we actually have a new mouse. So this might look like our Gladius 2, but this is actually the Gladius 2 wireless. And so you can disconnect it, you have a full wireless mouse. Still has RGB lighting, but unlike our Gladius 2, there's no underside RGB lighting to conserve on battery life and to conserve on weight. If you go ahead and just kind of feel that guy out, you'll feel
it's a very light mouse.
Lightweight mouse, but still it's got a nice construction to it. And like I said, it's really nice that you can switch back and forth between corded, so if you want lowest latency, or of course you can go over and have full wireless.
So is it Bluetooth and wireless?
No, that's just to be able to toggle off in terms of, oh, actually, they've updated that. That's
this is like a 2.4 wireless on there.
Yeah, so no, this is actually Bluetooth and wireless. Our original version was only singular, so...
That is too cool. Works with a bit of everything.
Yep, so you got both of those functions that are available to you there. And then, like I said, still kind of our classic disconnect-based design right there on the Gladius. So this guy is going to be coming out probably in the next month or so not too distant future.
Not too long to wait.
Yeah, so moving into here, we had it inside the Helios. You saw it all lit up right there, but this is our new kind of more entry-level cooler. We already had the Ryu and the Ryu Jin.
Yep.
Those were beautiful, high performance. They had the OLED customizable display, but that really kind of brought up the cost. So here we're kind of just giving you a nice RGB display, but it's not changeable. So you got the RGI, it's RGB. This also uses our NVCM finishing technology where it's metal and plastic combined together. So it's got a really clean, kind of glossy effect to it. It just looks beautiful. So this is just going to be a great choice for like those more entry-level builders, and we will offer it in a 240 as well as in a traditional 120. So very flexible for you.
Definitely looks good. What's the price point expected to be around on that?
Not finalized, but you can expect it to compete more in that, let's say, like H100i kind of category of cooler class. So definitely much lower than our current Ryu and Ryu Jin cooling solutions. So right next over here, we go really into the top end performance, and these are our new Alpha and Omega. So I'm going to ask you to just use your hands there for a moment and just feel that motherboard. And what you're going to feel is a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And that's because this is the first motherboards on the market to really feature full cast aluminum shrouds along with the heatsink assembly. So these boards are really just built in for the top end experience for users that either, of course, want Intel HDAT, X299, or of course if you want to go Ryzen and Threadripper and you want the best performance. So you can see ultra large massive heatsink, 2-stage assembly, so huge heatsink, 2 active fans, centered P-pipe, super high-end custom power delivery solution, so you can really feel confident whether it's stock or it's overclocked. You're going to see our DIMM.2 design, so you can do vertical M.2, one on each side, so you can do, of course, rated configurations. They will actually have also an additional heatsink, which, to be honest, is not needed because we're already so thermally isolated. They're already performing great, but they also aesthetically looks nice. We'll have our large live dash display right there, so you can see all the kind of node information you want: CPU frequency, temperature, voltages.
That seems to be the big thing with this CES. So many manufacturers have been doing that, and it looks absolutely stunning. And you don't really notice it until you take a second just to stare at it.
Yeah. On top of that, you of course have our pre-integrated I/O shield, which was another Asus, industry first. 160 megahertz wireless support, ESS Sabre DAC, quad RGB that's on the card. We've redone the slot spacing to be optimally suited for 20 series cards, so you can actually put 2 cards in SLI and still have breathing room. You'll have 10G LAN and 1G LAN on there. So pretty much, these are pretty much the best of the best. If you're looking for just flagship top end and I'd say aesthetics, functionality, as well as performance, they fit every single marker. These are really going to be amazing boards. And I think moving last but not least, we go to, I think, if we were talking about high-end, we literally moved to maybe the 1% of all the world in terms of true enthusiasts.
We saw this in one of the InWin builds yesterday when we first came in and was just shocked.
This is the Dominus Extreme. And if we talked about heavy there, and if I lift this up, you would almost need 2 hands. This is a fully custom, super high-end, 4 fans, massive VRM solution that's on this unit. 192 gigabytes of RAM support, theoretically up to 512. You can run quad DIMM.2 in terms of 4 M.2 drives in terms of quad, dual DIMM.2 base configuration, dual Optane right there, massive GPU expansion, ESS Sabre DAC, 10G. You got the live dash based display. You've got tons of fan header connectivity. USB 3C. This is literally the end-all be-all. If you're looking for that top 1% of all systems, it will be the Dominus Extreme. And we can actually show you here. This is still a pre-production in terms of final, but I'll let you guys kind of just check it out. This is an amazing kind of full-running Dominus Extreme system right here. We partnered with our friends at Fantex. Amazing Entho Elite chassis. You can see Fantex. You got blocks, custom block solution for the CPU and for the VRM solution. All their fittings, their reservoir, of course fans, and then of course our Thor power supply, the matrix, all come together to just make this Dominus Extreme platform. It's a truly impressive system.
Are we going to need custom cases with this for the fact that it needs dual 24-pin?
I would say, they're definitely, you're going to be looking at probably the largest type of chassis on the market is kind of EEB almost in terms of server type.
I know the InWin 905 is specifically designed for this as well.
Yeah.
We saw that one yesterday as well. So if you want to see a case that's going to be designed for this board, make sure to check out our video from InWin yesterday.
Yeah. So there will be multiple options on the market, but they will be specific to allow for that level of size to be put in
definitely.
there. And I think one of the last really cool marks that we got right here that I really love is going to be this guy. This is the XG43AQ. So this is a 43-inch monitor. It's not a television. And really what defines that is because, one, we've got awesome resolution, so 4K. It's wide color gamut. It's HDR 600 certified. Up to 750 nits of peak brightness, 120 hertz. In terms of the actual refresh rate support, it will also support VRR, so you have FreeSync 2 certification, and on top of that, you also got 2 either 8 or 10 watt speakers built in, which have some really nice punch to them. They're individually amplified so that they're minimally in terms of any type of distortion. You'll have a convenient remote to be able to go ahead and make all your customizations available to you. Really, really easy, really, really simple. And another really thing that I love about this is that, again, a separator from televisions is that we have a custom T-Con. So this is really designed about about input latency. So
Okay.
it's not just about refresh rate and response time, but many times you want to ensure that the timing, right, from sending the frames from the graphics card into the monitor are handled as quickly as possible so that you get that smoothest experience. And this is really an exclusive technology on Asus gaming monitors, is our Game Fast technology. And this is another kind of different point compared to traditional TVs, which generally have a lot of post-processing, and there can kind of be frame insertion or delays. And so when you kind of combine that all together, I think for anybody doing action RPG, racing simulation, RTS, this is going to be an amazing monitor.
This also seems like a dorm room must-have.
Yeah.
It just covers everything. You don't need to have a TV. You've got everything set in one thing, and you can game, and you got every base covered.
Yeah, and on top of that, definitely, I mean, even still for desks, I mean, keep in mind there's a full VESA mount on there too, so you can put it on an arm, you can put it on a clamp, you can totally get it situated for you, and I still actually think make this entirely comfortable for desktop usage. So definitely, I think between this and that PG35VQ, they said these are probably going to be the benchmark monitors for a lot of ROG and just general PC DIY enthusiasts looking for a great gaming display.
Seems like a great design monitor, somebody doing editing and stuff like that as well. You've got all that real estate. What's the expected price as well as release date?
Price definitely not finalized at this point, but release day we are hoping to have this probably available by early Q2 timeframe.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Could we maybe look at the RGB backpacks?
No, we actually don't. So this is actually something that's about maybe 80% final right here. And you know, on face value, kind of, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of you that be like, oh, RGB backpack, the backpack sucks. But actually, we put a lot of thought into the overall design. For one, this is a 1000 denier, which is very kind of on the higher end side, right? You've got the RGB lighting, but you can fully customize that. You know, you can go in and you can make adjustments in terms of the lighting display. So if you want to have a fixed color or if you want to turn it off, you can entirely do that. Of course, I'm going to leave it on red right now because it's all about ROG red, right? But the cool thing is, you saw I just turned on that light. Well, I can go inside here, and now I've actually got a light. So, you know, when I'm checking out my stuff on my inside, I actually got something that's illuminating the inside for me.
Okay.
We've got, you know, individual markers that are lit off right there. We've got padding on the bottom, and it's also a full coverage that's water resistant. So, of course, if you set this down, you don't need to worry about that soaking into the bag. Or, again, if you drop the bag, again, it also holds its frame. You can also see some really premium touches. You got Hypalon based zippers, and that's important. Why? Because if you get rain that's coming down, it's not getting into the zippers and getting into the material, right? We've got this nice kind of EDC carry bag, which has its own shoulder strap, so you can put, you know, your wallet, your cards, you know, your mints, a couple of little things inside there. Go to the coffee shop, go to your friend's house, right? But then if you want to come back, you can just quickly snap it back onto the bag, and you don't got to put everything back into the bag, right? Dual split compartments that are on here in terms of the laptop, right? So if you just want to get into your laptop, you can do that. But then you want to get into your bag where you got maybe all your other little things, you can do that. You've got your removable quick pouch, right? So that you can do your organization outside, right?
Really covering everything with this one, eh?
So, you know, I think, you know, again, I think the cool thing is we haven't finalized everything on it, but definitely just hope to show you guys that, you know, when we do an ROG product, even if it's an ROG backpack, we're trying to put foresight and forethought into the product so that, you know, definitely as you guys enthusiasts can feel confident and proud that you're rocking something that rocks the ROG eye.
Seems that you guys are starting to cover every single thing you could possibly need for your laptop. You've got the mesh, you've got the bag, you've got every accessory, every monitor, every single thing possibly covered. Yeah. And that's great to see. You're protecting your investment.
Yep, for sure. You know, and I think at the end of the day, you know, users, I'm sure, will give us feedback, but at the end of the day, everything that we're doing is because we've seen a request from it, and so we're definitely passionate about trying to be responsive to that feedback and make the best designs that we can for you guys.
That's absolutely awesome. Well, thank you so much for all your time, JJ. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all your expertise. This is John, Real Hardware Reviews. Everyone just have an awesome night. Bye.